Well, hello again, everyone. It's your man Cowboy Star coming back once again. That's right, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Well, it's been a couple of weeks since I got on here, folks. As you know, life gets in the way of YouTube sometimes. Uh, Had a lot going on with the holiday season. I want to wish every one of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays and a Happy New Year coming up. Uh, yeah, I've been out trying to get all my shopping done and plus work on top of that. And I've kind of gotten behind a little bit, but I'm going to try to get caught up today. Hope you all are doing well out there. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate that. Uh, well, the Cowboys narrowly got a victory last Sunday against the lowly Houston Texans. I was worried about that game, man. There was a lot of things that the Cowboys, I think, took for granted going into that game. Playing a team that was 1-10-1 at the time, that's kind of hard to do when you're 9-3 going into the game. And as I suspected, the Cowboys didn't disappoint. They played down to the opponent and like to lost the game. But thank God we had that 98-yard drive at the end of the game. Dak Prescott finally woke up. The whole game for 58 minutes he played like a rookie out there, like he had never ran the offense. And then suddenly a light bulb went on. It mystifies me how in the world he changed from Dak in the beginning of the game to Dak in the last 2 minutes. But he did, and the result was a win for the Cowboys, which are now, Cowboys are 10-3. And by virtue of the loss last night by the Seahawks, the Seattle Seahawks to the 49ers, 21-13, they lost. The Cowboys have at least, at worst, clinched a playoff berth, 6-seed playoff berth with that loss without even playing a game Sunday. So the Cowboys are in the playoffs, but that's not the way we want to do. We want to get higher than looking like we're going to be the 5th seed. But I'm hoping Chicago Bears can upset Philadelphia somehow, some way Sunday, and then the Cowboys can take care of their business against Jacksonville, and then we play the Eagles coming up soon on Christmas Eve. So that would be the perfect scenario, because if the Eagles were to lose to the Bears or one other team, preferably an NFC team, and the Cowboys would beat them on New Year's Eve, that would mean that the Cowboys would be, and they went out the rest of their games, that would mean the Cowboys would be the division winner, because we have a tiebreaker on the Eagles because we've won more NFC contests than the Eagles have. So that's what we're wanting to happen, folks. I don't know if you know that, but that's the scenario we want to play out. So let's hope and pray that that does happen. In some big news, the Cowboys have picked up reinforcements on their roster. As you know, we have lost several players on defense in the secondary. Anthony Brown is out for the year with an Achilles, and Jordan Lewis with a foot is out. He's been out for the whole year. So we did sign a few players that I'm going to talk about in a minute, but the big signing that we have made in the last few days is one TY Hilton. That's right, TY Hilton, formerly of the Indianapolis Colts, is now a Cowboy. He signed with the Cowboys. They had a workout with him, and he's still fast as ever, according to the coaches and Coach McCarthy. And the Cowboys inked him for a $600,000 contract the rest of the year, with incentives up to $1.2 million, depending on what he does from here on out. So, welcome T.Y. Hilton to the Cowboys. I think he's going to be a big addition. He's got speed, folks. That's what we lacked. We didn't have anybody with a whole lot of speed that they would even give a chance. I mean, we've got Turpin, but Turpin hasn't impressed him as a receiver, undoubtedly, because he's barely darkened the field this year. So we got T.Y. Hilton, who can kind of stretch the field, and maybe that'll help out Michael Gallup and C.D. Lamb get more open in the scheme of things. Because they've got to respect TY Hilton. They can't just let him run free down the field because he is a veteran and he knows what he's doing out there. He can get open. So good for the Cowboys in picking him up. It looks like the Odell signing has kind of died down right now because OBJ doesn't want to play in the regular season. I don't think he can if he wanted to right now. But Jerry Jones said his signing could break, and we will see about that. So let's hope and pray that the Cowboys still have him on the radar, and maybe, who knows, we can pick him up. In other signings, as I was talking about in the secondary, the Cowboys have signed cornerback Trayvon Millen, who was claimed off waivers from the Cardinals, and after they had cut him, and he's only played 13 games the last 2 years. But in those games, he really hasn't been too bad. He was originally a top 50 pick by the Raiders, and somehow so that was in the Gruden regime. And somehow he got on the Cardinals. I guess the Raiders released him. He was a second-round pick by the Raiders, in fact. So Boss Man Fat, that's right, Boss Man Fat was a second-round pick. So maybe he will, give us some depth there at the corner position. And also, as you already probably have heard, Kendall Sheffield, who we had on the practice squad, has been added to the 53. Since these injuries have occurred, we were kind of thin at cornerback. Like I said, with Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis being on IR. So the Cowboys have added some depth there. To make room at linebacker, of course, we signed another player at nose tackle since Jonathan Hankins has been put on IR with a pectoral injury. The Cowboys have picked up Anthony Rush, and he is a big man. He's like 350 pounds, and he's wide as a garage. I mean, he's a huge individual. And to make room for him on the 53, linebacker Malik Jefferson has been cut and let go from the practice squad. So the Cowboys have added Anthony Rush to the practice squad, and hopefully he can get ready and learn the playbook and get ready and be ready to get in there. I don't know if I doubt he's going to be moved up for the game this Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I hope and pray he gets ready soon because we're going to need somebody big in the middle. The Cowboys, in other big news, plan to play Tyron Smith at his first start at right tackle in the place of Terrence Steele, who has been injured, was injured in the last game, and he's been put on IR, and he is expected to miss the whole rest of the season. So, to me, that makes sense because the Cowboys have more depth at right tackle than they do at left tackle. So, that way they can put Jason Peters in if Tyron Smith needs to get a rest there after being out for so long. And they also have Ball that can play right tackle. So that makes sense. I'm glad Tyron Smith agreed to do that because that really helps the Cowboys out. Like I say, that is a real big deal for the Cowboys to do that. And I'm going to tell you now, the Cowboys play the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're kind of hot recently. They have won a couple of games here. They're 5-8. And the Cowboys come in and play like they did against Houston. It's not going to end well this week. We need to win out. We need to win all the rest of our games to try to get a higher seed in the playoffs. So that's pretty much everything that's going on in a nutshell. You give me 10 minutes, and I gave you the Cowboys world there that's going on at the Star. So I appreciate you all tuning in again. And stay tuned. If anything else breaks, you know how we do. If anything breaks that's urgent, we get on here and the Cowboy Star brings it to you. With that being said, we'll catch you next time. I'm out.